You're watching The Alchemy Kitchen, and this is Kitchen Hacks, a series on things to make your life easier in the kitchen. So we're going to look at 10 different ways you can use baking soda in cooking. There's a lot of videos on baking soda hacks, most of them for like cleaning or making toothpaste and stuff like that. So this one's all about just ways to cook with it. Got 10 of them I'm going to run through. I'm not going to cook them all for you on this video. I'm just going to run through them and explain how they work. Number one would be with boiled eggs. You put maybe like a teaspoon, half a teaspoon in the water when you boil the eggs, and they'll become a lot easier to peel. It breaks down that membrane under the shell. You can also use vinegar to get the same effect if you put that in the water when you boil them. Number two, potatoes. I tried out a way to make potatoes recently that for like roasted potatoes in the oven that come out really crispy, and it's probably the best way I've found to do it. I'll do a video of that soon. But when you're boiling the potatoes, throw in, again, like a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of baking soda in the water, and that will, it breaks down the pectin, the cellular glue, so they just come out way better when you roast them in the oven afterwards. Also, number three would be adding to mashed potatoes. It'll give it that kind of a fluffier mashed potato. I've not tried that one, but I was reading about that. Number four would be using it as a meat tenderizer. So you kind of, if you have a cheap cut of steak or pork chop or whatever, and you want it more tender, you coat it with baking powder, and you want to put it in the fridge for a few hours, about 6 hours at least. Then you want to rinse that off really good because it's going to taste funky if you don't. But that will also, it breaks down, there's some kind of reaction it does to the meat to make it more tender. Number five, you can make baking powder out of baking soda. All you need to do is, the ratio would be like 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar to 1 tablespoon of baking soda. And that does it. Because when baking soda is mixed with anything acidic like lemon juice or yogurt or what's it called, buttermilk, then it starts to create this chemical reaction and these bubbles, these gas bubbles. So that takes me to number 6, which is mici, and that's something I gotta do a video on how to make. It's a Romanian skinless sausage. And if you know ceva, I can never say that word, cevachichi. It looks like that, but they're like 100 times better. I don't know why they're so like unknown. And cevachichi, I can find them like frozen in the stores here. Mici is awesome, and that's one of the things they use is baking soda or bicarbonate that's mixed in with some lemon juice and put into the mixture of meat, and that makes this texture just like really good. I can't explain, those gases that kind of fluffs up the meat. It comes out awesome. Number 7, this is one I haven't tried. I will be trying it though, is to make a brine for shrimp. And you're going to use, for about a pound of shrimp, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt per pound of shrimp. And you brine that, and it supposedly makes the texture of the shrimp a lot crispier and springy. Number 8, for making beans softer. So like say you want to make hummus, and you've got the dried garbanzo beans that you're soaking in water. If you put in 1 teaspoon of baking soda for every 6 cups of water for about 1 cup of dried beans, what it does is it raises the pH level, and it helps break down the texture, and so you can smash up the beans a lot easier to make hummus. Number 9, making spaghetti into ramen noodles. Again, you can add from 2 teaspoons to 1 whole tablespoon per quart of water when you're boiling the pasta, and that will totally change the texture. They do recommend, if it's like a milder broth, don't use so much because you'll start tasting that baking soda is going to make it taste funky. But if you're using a stronger flavored broth, you can go ahead and use more, because the more you put in there, the springier they get. It will make the water like bubble and stuff when you put it in, so make sure you have plenty of room in your pot when you do that, so you don't boil over. Number 10, and that is canned tomatoes, to get rid of that acidity in the canned tomatoes. put about a quarter teaspoon into the tomatoes. You know, canned tomatoes, you never know. There's different brands, and some have more of an acidic flavor than others. So if it's really strong, just throw some baking soda into that. And of course, you know, there's all these tricks for baking soda to clean stuff, whatever. But like I said, this is all for just cooking. And that's it for this one. Hit like, hit subscribe. If you know any other uses for baking soda in cooking, leave it in the comments below. I'm always interested in that stuff. And there'll be more cooking hack videos coming in the very near future. Till next time.